Look, I could give you 1,000 excuses. I could give you 1,000 reasons why I've been such a long time without uploading a Jujutsu Kaisen Module video. To the point where like 1,000,000 chapters have piled up, I don't even know how many anymore. But honestly, I think at this point you're all just fed up with my, I don't know, excuses or reasons why. So I'll just stick to saying I'm sorry and keep going as if nothing happened. And if someone doesn't like it, as I always say, they can suck it, that's it. Let's return to Jujutsu Kaisen Module, since things have really heated up while I haven't discussed it. Anyway, get ready, because this video is going to be a bit longer than the usual Jujutsu Kaisen Module videos. Oh my god. Let's start with a quick recap, since it's been a while since I discussed it. If not, just skip it. Does it matter? So let's recap quickly, everything that's happened in this story, but like really fast. In fact, I'm not even going to narrate it myself. You do it, Luka. Tell him, Luka. You do it, Luka. What's up, Pena? Luka brought out Klee? Really? The boss wants a work recap, so let's get started. Jujutsu Kaisen. After turning his cradle into Pau, the sorcerer's lives continued as usual. One day, Maki told Yuta, "Come on, Daddy, let's repopulate that clan," thus having possibly the most inconsequential protagonist children in Shonen. What matters here are the grandchildren Tsurugi and Yucatan Tsurugi. So Yuta, before dying of depression, gives his ring to Yuka. But the clan's high-ranking members said, no, you're a woman, go to the kitchen and go clean. That ring is for your brother, so her goal is to train to be worthy of the ring. And what the brother wants is to be taken seriously, because for him, being given the ring is like saying, look, take this ring, because we think you're too weak to stand on your own, so here you go. And well, then aliens show up. One of these aliens joins them and they go on missions, each one odder than the last until they reach the current one. A boy who repeated grades too often, until they discovered he was an old man pretending to be a boy, and he liked to surround himself with other children. Look, for now, the old man just liked to roleplay as a child. There is no indication for now that suggests he liked to get too close to the children. We're caught up, let's continue. Thank you, Lucas. Now, please stay quiet for the rest of the video because you annoy me. Let's continue with the chapters. We start with a flashback from who knows where, of a little girl calling her mother because she wants to show her something. Instead of showing her doing something typical, like a headstand or experiencing strange changes, the girl is literally making the water in her glass float. I love how the mother is like, oh honey, don't you see I had a very important meeting? Now, tell me, what is so important that you wanted me to see? I don't know. Floating water isn't exactly normal. And after that flashback, with absolutely no damn context, we see that Maru is still completely unconscious, while Suguri keeps fighting with the old man. They return to the school and discovered the needle spirit we saw earlier as a cursed spirit connected to him. Not only that, but the bastard moves like he's a sorcerer in his prime, and not like what he really is. Even Suguri admits that this bastard could be a first-grade sorcerer. And look, I know it's been several decades and all that, but damn it, you're a first-grade sorcerer. You're a first-grade sorcerer too. And I'm a first-grade sorcerer. Is there another first-grade sorcerer here? So Suguri gives the usual speech like, man, you're the best, you can do it. And the other one says, it's Beldad. And the old man tells him that even though he considered it when he was young, getting old took away all the excitement of saving others. He even tells Suguri that he'll feel the same way. But also, the old man says that there are life experiences that, no matter how many times they happen, never stop meaning something. In short, the old man wishes he could stay a child forever instead of aging. Bread or something like that. The thing is, Suguri responds with, yeah, keep saying things like that. You're just giving me more reasons to cut you. Ow. And the old man just keeps nagging, saying, don't you get it? Eventually, you'll kill someone else and feel nothing. Man, I love this. As if things weren't bad enough, the old man now feels the weight of his age. He repeats the same phrases he told Suguri. So he's either messing with him or, as Suguri suspects, the old man's disgusting behavior is due to cognitive decline. Like I said about Logan, right? It's super calm. Professor X, with the world's most powerful mind and the ability to control others, now has a degenerative brain disease. Fascinating. The fight starts. The old man gives a long monologue saying Suguri is strong for his age, until finally Mino, the other responsible adult, manages to put a veil over the school so Suguri can fight with complete freedom. Then there's Mino, the smart one, saying to use your power now and defeat him. And Suguri's like, that's it, that's all. Yeah, that's everything. And Suguri goes for it. I already went all in. I already put everything into that thing. And I think I'm getting off topic. I think this is wrong. Yuka arrives to help, and together they overpower the old man, until the latter reveals a kind of ability that drains the opponent's stamina, and that's how he shoots needles at the two of them, piercing them right in the butt. However, just when it seems like the battle is lost, he awakens. The one who possesses the eyes, the eye has awakened. Even though there are two, both Suguri and the old man seem surprised by his entrance. Maru immediately unleashes an infinity on the old man, making the bastard eat his own spirit, Guardian to fight fully focused. It's useless since Maru, with his third eye open, easily surpasses the old man, but from afar, Suguri senses something is wrong. And while the old man regrets not having killed Maru when he had the chance, Maru's brother stays there, rock solid on the roof, farming aura like Piccolo, just watching. Simply reproaching his brother in his mind for losing control so easily. He wants to use this chance to observe humans, saying that with the incompetent Jujutsu sorcery higher-ups, the war will definitely happen. The Shimurians have Dabura on their side, who is probably only at 5% of the maximum power of his lineage. But anyway, let's remember that the long period of peace caused the level of the sorcerers to hit rock bottom. It's like in video games when convenient explanations always appear in the second part. The protagonist, once literally Jesus Christ in the first game, is now just a monkey with a wooden sword. Because of course, how could those damn selfish sorcerers dare to rest and live their lives peacefully after saving the world from possibly its greatest threat ever? I love it. Because as Kuros watches, the old man realizes Maru's powers involve distorting reality. That damn bastard cat. It either gives you 40 lines explaining a technique no one cares about or throws out absurdly simple nonsense. But honestly, I prefer it that way. So as the clash begins, the old man remembers that moment. The only moment when he genuinely feared for his life and had to run away. The moment when he came face to face with him, and that's how it is. The old man faced Itadori Prime. Itadori, after defeating Sukuna and after becoming one of the most powerful sorcerers in history. Sorry, I know he's the original series' main character, and it's exciting to see him return. We never saw Yuji Itadori's full power after the final fight, but when I saw the whole manga and anime community on Twitter going crazy over two panels where Yuji appeared, all I could think about was that damn image. The one of the man amazed by a banana. I want to say maybe it is cool and all, but just imagine what will happen when they give us a flashback of Goyo or Yuta with Maki, married or something like that. People are going to explode. Well, so what can I say? The Chainsaw Man fandom spent a whole month making a fuss because a guy finished in a girl's hand. That was like the biggest narrative event of that work for about 2 months on Twitter. As I said, the Portis are Yuta and Maki's grandchildren. Some might call it fan service, but since this is a sequel, it's only natural the current characters are connected, so it's not really fan service. Besides, if it's a sequel, we're dealing with sorcerers and the strongest ones in history. At some point they have to show up, so it's pointless to complain about that. In the next chapter, the last finger from his cradle appears, and Yuji also had a grandson. This last one eats the final finger and retrieves his cradle. And better yet, that just grossed me out. I'd better shut up. Oh my god, Mother of Blessed Christ. That just grossed me out, damn it. It turns out that no matter how hard he tries, the old man is completely outmatched by Maru. And it seems that distorting reality was something literal. Because Maru altered gravity. Heat the water until it boils briefly, then freeze it in place. As he prepares to strike the old man, Suguri intervenes. And Maru bravely passes through the sword as if it were intangible. Well, yes, Suguri realized the extreme violence Maru was reaching, so he went to stop him, realizing, look at yourself, you're not even aware. All this while, Kurosu watches from afar, considering this a good opportunity since he knows human weaknesses, how within humanity itself there are differences of opinion that lead to internal conflict, like wars and all those things. Also, he, and surely all Shimurians, know that many powerful humans would readily use the aliens as they wish. They would also look for any excuse to start a war against them. So, between killing the old criminal and the young sorcerer, killing Suguri would be the best way to start a war. Kurosu just orders his brother from, The latter desperately shouts at Maru to wake him, reminding him of their promise to be comrades. That connection is seen by Kurosu, who was willing to sacrifice Suguri to start that war. He stops his brother from hurting him and angrily asks himself, what did I just do? I really like this because it's like a small vindication of my friend's concept. Hypnotized, he breaks free from the control because I told him I care about him a lot. I liked that Suguri's words had a greater impact on Kurosu than on Maru himself. and that Maru, seeing the emotions, decided to intervene of his own free will. Ultimately, this manga will subvert shonen expectations by resolving things gradually, forming a connection with the aliens so everyone lives in harmony. A very nice, sweet, and groundbreaking approach instead of a spectacular final battle. Well, that's what I'd think if we weren't in the damn shonen jam. Surely faced with that idea, Sueza would say, no, what are you? Are you gay? I mean, peace, friendship. Do you like dick? Oh, do you like that thing moving like that? No, what are you? No, man, just punch him and that's it. I honestly hope I'm wrong, but taking advantage of the commotion, the old man with a Peter Pan complex escaped, although he only seems safe. That responsible adult, whose name I still can't be bothered to remember. And I have no intention of ever doing so, and I also don't remember if they've already mentioned it. He appears in front of the old man. The curious thing is that the old man talks about some kind of teacher, saying that he'll report him if he is. He tries something, and the adult removes his glove as if preparing for a prostate exam, just like Captain Azo. Instead, he reveals the Inumaki clan marks on his hand, the clan known for cursed speech. Indeed, my buddy shares the power of Salmon Tuna Boy. You know the person who says testicular torsion in your egg twists? The responsible adult eats the old man, and everything seems fine. With Suguri and Kurosu asks, "What was that just now?" Suguri teases him about how a few chapters ago he told him not to talk to him. AG Kurosu comes over and asks again, "What does a comrade mean to you?" Using Maru's definition. Someone who understands what matters to you, which unsettles Kurosu as he knows the country's history well. How could those humans who enjoy a peace paved in the shadow of war ever understand them? You were born human, yet you still look down on others like yourself. Since you declared yourself supreme in international society, everything has worsened. We don't want to join you. Kurosu said these words to Suguri, his eyes full of rage and resentment. Meanwhile, the boy barely stayed conscious to hear the start of his speech. Later, the adult Usami, as I now recall, shows up to talk with Kurosu. See? I'm paying attention. The latter was going to take him to his brother's wounded body on the mothership. But Usami knows that if other Shimurians see one of their own injured in the human world, things could get complicated. He tries to talk them out of it. Don't worry, we'll heal him and see. I get that you don't want guests to see how one of their own was badly hurt on a mission your people assigned. I don't blame them for not wanting to leave Maru with them. Interestingly, Kurosu takes some things from Maru, almost like he's replacing him, similar to a twin impersonation plot. Wow, it's one of the most boring tropes in fiction, but that doesn't matter, because his damn mother, he's the best Indian character in Jujutsu Kaisen. What am I saying? Not just in Jujutsu Kaisen, but in the entire anime industry. I'm obviously talking about Mahito. Damn, huh? I already had enough of this character in Jujutsu Kaisen 1. I don't know why I have to deal with him again here, damn it. Gege, don't you have any creativity? Or what's wrong with you? Wow, what a great character and his iconic lines. How could we forget lines like Itadori, "I'm crazy, dude, the inspector of dicks, and you are me." And how could we forget Junpei? Do you want poop? I'm really sorry, but I honestly have no idea why people still like this character. I understand he serves his role as a disgusting villain who makes you angry, and that's great. Okay, I get that, but damn, that's enough already. Jujutsu Kaisen worked without Mahito, the arc was working without Majito, it didn't need this piece of fucking shit. Here in the middle again. Honestly, I'm fed up with it. After he died, I felt relieved and enjoyed Jujutsu Kaisen more. Well, anyway, I guess Mahito has been in that strange limbo for 70 years. He'd left his cradle behind and went to hell to eat the fembo. I don't know how Suguri contacted him, but he wakes up in the hospital with Maru, though I realize it's actually Kurusu, not Maru. Unlike you fake fans, I can tell these two's marks apart. Actually, a friend didn't help me. And it's a good thing that the first thing Suguri says to him is an apology for misunderstanding his arrival at the beginning. His brother seems good but doesn't show it. He said everything needed to keep Kurusu from hating him when Yuka arrives. Happy her brother will be okay for the big day. What big day? Kurusu asks. The others, including Maru, remind him he suggested it, so he couldn't have forgotten. A trip to the amusement park, to the theme park. I love it. Kurusu thinks his brother is childish for wanting to abandon the plan and go somewhere like this. A boy who lost his mom appears, so Kurusu and Yuka entertain him until she returns. Everything ends well. While Suguri keeps searching for the mother, unaware she's already appeared, Yuka admits she knows it's Kurusu, and even if his brother found out, he wouldn't admit it to keep his mama's boy status. Then they briefly discuss religion. At that time, Christians in Japan faced such persecution, they had to step on an image of Jesus Christ to prove they weren't Christians. That's already the 9th worst thing I've heard about ancient Japan this week. And it's only Tuesday or Wednesday. And Yuka says that even though she's not a believer, if she had to do it, she would. And then she'd just apologize afterward. I mean, that's a pretty clever move, right? But then Kurusu brings up the situation of whether she could step on a figure that was actually alive. Kurusu says humans are terrible for destroying their way of life unknowingly. Is he observing from afar or taking what was theirs? Kurusu believes those who've lost everything don't have the right to take from others, but that doesn't mean they won't. So, be prepared. In short, he just subtly declared war. So Yuka pretends she didn't notice and asks Kurusu to come with her, hoping they can change his mind. They reveal Yuka has about 6 months to live due to brain cancer. Yuka, do you have cancer now? Seriously? I wasn't expecting something so drastic and sudden in a story like this. So you have my attention, Jujutsu. You definitely have my attention. Yuka confesses that she brought him specifically because she didn't want to be alone. But she also didn't want the others to feel sorry for her. This works perfectly since he not only lacks sympathy for her, but also says the worst possible thing in that situation. Everything you once enjoyed will now feel empty and life will be filled with hatred. You'll wonder, why me? Ultimately, nothing will matter to you. Yuka realizes Kurusu had a similar experience and asks if he'll keep taking from those who've lost everything. This causes an argument, as Kurusu lost his world to a deliberate or caused disaster, not an accident. But Yuka tells him that even though everything is still there, soon she won't be. I love how Kurusu sincerely asks Yuka if she's competing in misfortune to change his mind. It's like a competition of suffering, but that's far from true. She just wants to make him understand that while she can't change certain things, he does have the right to be angry, to remember it for the rest of his life. If he understands what she endured, he might prevent others from suffering the same. But Kurusu can't bear this conversation, seeing it as a vile attempt to pressure his kind. Calling it coexistence just means living without bothering others. He thinks it's better to take everything from them than worry about humans for decades. Yuka simply replies with a question. So, when will you be satisfied? Hating others is very easy, but breaking the cycle of hatred is the hard part, and that's what she wants them to try together. And now, flashback. On a distant planet called Shimuria, an alien named Dahlia from the village of Rumel took in 2 twins imprisoned for stealing, who had to work for him as punishment. Twins Maru and Kurusu, impressed by Dahlia's power, chose to help him build a canal so that the neighboring villages of Sharma and Skunte could make faster boat trips, taking advantage of the fact that they are in the middle. The thing is, he's not really in agreement with this because, in short, in the past, the people of Rumel thought it would be a good idea to have an extremely dangerous creature as their sacred animal. So the other peoples agreed to exterminate it, but since the Rumel refused, they were exiled and separated. Dahlia knows hatred only leads to more hate. If they don't change, others won't either. And he hopes that with this, the peoples can coexist, giving meaning to the term comrade. Nakama One Piece. His people would also benefit from the canal, as ships with goods would pass through their town regardless. Some people in Rumel oppose building the canal and try to destroy it, but Kurusu handles them. The Council of Elders approves building the canal, and now the entire town helps. Even the same guys Kurusu beat up apologizing beforehand. Eventually, the canal was built, uniting the town more than ever. But we know how things work here. Never assume things are bad, they could get worse. If things are good, they're probably about to get worse. About what the word worse means, I'm getting confused, since Kuryan, the sacred animal of Rumel, just like that, ate the daughter of the chief of the village of Skunte. Damn, pretty essential, as the youth say. The thing is, the Kanyan in Skunte territory were supposed to have been completely exterminated. And now, as compensation, they want the territory of Rumel. So the lunatics from Skunte likely sacrificed the leader's daughter, just to justify taking over nearby territories. Even though the accusation is baseless, the damage is done. In this world, you win debates not with arguments, but with fists. So the people of Skunte challenge Rumel to a duel, and if they lose, Skunte will keep the land and its inhabitants. The good thing is, they have Dula on their side, who had already won a duel before, even when he was at a disadvantage. Once they're in the Colosseum, ready for the duel, his opponent is none other than Dabura, a being everyone seems to fear. But above all, they know the outcome won't be favorable for Dula, Interestingly, they know each other, and Dula realizes Skente took Dabura's daughter hostage to force a fight. And contrary to what we all would have thought, at first Dabura seems calm but worried, unsure what to do since his orders are to kill Dula directly. The latter says it's fine, but asks for a favor in return for his life. Dula addresses the whole town in the Colosseum, noting the barrier between the peoples is the Rumel religion. He knows Rumel's expulsion wasn't due to a religious war, that was just an excuse. This way, Skunta could acquire the Muar mines, a mineral that converts any cursed energy into power. He knew that a religious war would make other races avoid getting involved, since there would be no reason to get into something they don't understand. Rumel's religion shouldn't be viewed as a cultural ideology, but as a daily life code, and that's what they wanted, for it to be respected. The only thing Dula wanted was for other peoples to recognize his own as equals. The Skunta leader, tired of talk, orders Dabura to attack. In the end, there was never a chance. Maru lunges at his father figure's killer, but Orozu stops him as Dabura solemnly watches by Maru's former friend's corpse. He calls him a coward, since he didn't even respect his opponent enough to use all his strength. But Dabura confesses that he simply didn't want to hurt his face, since they were friends in the past. Now, with Dula dead, the people of Rumel don't know what to do. They can only move the women and children before the Skunta arrive to destroy everything. Still, the options seem useless until Dabura appears. Dula's dying wish was for him to give his people one final gift. A nearly endless reserve of Mur hidden under Karyan's protection kept the Skunta away. The twins then recalled Dula's teaching. Every tribe and person began as someone's past wish or ideal. Even if he dies, the canal and his works will remain, as a starting point to improve the lives of the people of Rumel. In the end, nothing he had done was in vain, and there the two twins together were finally able to harness all the accumulated Mur power. And they managed to build a monument, Hope, a monument to help them escape and find a new, peaceful home. A place beyond the sky where they could find new comrades and maybe, just maybe, find a new home. Back on Earth, we'll witness something unheard of. The Council of Sorcerers actually taking action. Fascinating. It turns out that the topic to discuss is, well, the fact that an immigrant like Maru beating up a national sorcerer could be considered a threat to the country. Usami takes advantage by invoking the Hikari regulation, which recognizes commercial disputes between sorcerers, though it was initially created to allow fights for entertainment. The law is called Asami, named after Hikari, just as you thought. I love when fiction invents laws named after people just as a joke. Like in The Simpsons, there's a future episode where they say it's only now illegal to strangle your son because of a new law. Homer barra Homero. The thing is, since all three guys are contractors under Usami, no law is being broken when they fight each other. They made Maru sign the contract just like Shrek. Come on, Shrek, sign it. Sign it, but another member of the Council of Sorcerers keeps complaining, calling it a provocation and claiming the aliens are terrible. Finn is the usual character who panics in a fight, but he started all this and ended up asking Usami why she cares so much about protecting the aliens. And the latter answers him, "What's your problem? Why do you want to fight the aliens?" They bring up the speech about, oh, if you show weakness, you're screwed, so we have to show that we are strong. But they finish with a phrase worth framing, which is, it's time to take this seriously and start the search for Yuji Itadori. Finally, confirming the best protagonist in the history of Shonen is back. With all this, will we actually see Yuji Prime? Did having his cradle stuck in his prostate give him immortality or the ability to age more slowly? I don't know. They're looking for the guy, maybe thinking they can intimidate the aliens. What do I know? I don't know how he'll manage. Itadori faces Dabura and several mini Gochos, but I don't know. Who knows? In the end, Usami tells this wrecked guy that there's no problem. That if he wants the aliens to dominate him and go at him hard, well, that's up to him. Meanwhile, the Shimurians seem to be having a pretty hard time with the whole coexistence thing with humans. Some want to live with humans, while others just want to do what humans did. In other words, come down, take what they want, and live super chill. So they gather in a sort of council to vote on whether they'll choose to make an effort to coexist or just eat him. It turns out that apparently the little talk with Yuka actually helped, because Kurosu, despite the hatred he holds in his heart after losing everyone he cared about, also doesn't forget the values his late master taught him. The council chooses to fight for coexistence despite opposition. All that's left is Dabura's approval, and everyone goes quiet. That's how Kurosu, Habaroma, and the old man meet Usami and the kids to give the verdict and share Rumel's story. They decide the best way to begin talks with Dabura and the other ambassadors is over dinner. So, after our talk, do you know about interplanetary cuisine? Like Bill's? And to ensure human food doesn't upset the alien stomachs, or give him trendy a party with takoyaki just chilling? Although Kurosu can't hide his concern about what could happen there. And, well, that's it. Another day, another week, in which Jujutsu Kaisen 2 Module proves to be better than its predecessor, at least when it comes to the beginning. I mean, I have to say that when it comes to the beginning, there's no comparison. If there's something I criticized a lot about Jujutsu, it's that, let's say, its first season, what we understand as its first anime season, completes what is the first one. It's pretty bad. The animation looks good, and it's well done with a strong opening, but it's still a piece of crap. Super boring, super slow. The characters are all really bland. Although, well, it's not like they were ever that interesting. They've always been pretty bland, even though they did get a bit better. I've said it countless times when discussing Jujutsu and everything, I couldn't stand the beginning. And then, well, for me it's decent, it was always decent. I don't remember what rating I gave the manga in the end. As such, maybe a 6 or 7, something like that, which isn't a bad score, honestly. Even if it sounds low, the truth is that a 7 means it's a good work. It's a low B, okay? No need to scream, act like a bot, or rate everything a 9. That ruins the charm. The thing about giving grades is, if everything is an 8 or a 9, then the grades stop having weight, they stop having value, okay? But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised because even though it's not exactly the 8th wonder of the world, check out these 10 episodes and compare them with the first 10 or 11 chapters of the original Jujutsu Kaisen manga. And I think we can all agree that this one is more intense, more beautiful, more interesting. The characters are more emotional, they're more interesting, there's a bit more of that emotional aspect. I don't know if it's because Gigi didn't have to focus so much on drawing or explaining techniques, but something has changed. I don't know if he's getting help or something, but you can really tell he's improving a lot in that area. As an author, I think he knew his work was bland, so he's redeeming himself here. The best proof is that even Gege seemed aware his characters were somewhat artificial and bland. Right now, in the sequel, he's changing everything. If you notice, the conversations, characters, and interactions are handled very differently. So I'm 99% sure that Gege herself, whatever, I don't give a damn, whatever. He's working on that, and honestly, I'm happy about it. I'm not sure how this will progress, since sequels usually start stronger, because everything is already established. You don't need to give so much context, but for now, it looks good. So this could be a better case than Boruto because comparisons, well, I think they're inevitable, right? But I think this could be the Boruto. Among many small combos done better with more love, effort, and intention. Back then, improving Naruto seemed nearly impossible. Despite what some say now, Naruto isn't actually bad. Naruto has flaws and mistakes, especially the ending, but it's still a great anime. On the other hand, Jujutsu is quite a few steps below Naruto. Alright, so is it really possible to reach that level or even surpass it? Alright. Also, I think Gege adds his own style with characters like Gojo, Geto, and others. I think in the end, he has the ability to do things better, and he's proving it. Let's see. Hopefully I don't jinx it. Hopefully everything keeps going like this. Please, because so far, up to now, in these 10 chapters, I have to say it's a pretty recommendable manga. Alright, it's not a big deal. I'm telling you, it's not something to go crazy about, but I think it has a good start. A good beginning. So hey, let's let this cook. Let's see if it rises up, or on the contrary, if it goes downhill. Unfortunately, with sequels, that's something very common. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. Please show your support. Let's see if we can get back to releasing episodes weekly, so we don't end up with this mammoth of how many? Wait, I'm off script. How many episodes is this video? From 7 to 10, 7, 8, 9, and 10? This video covers 4 manga chapters spanning a month. Let's handle it better from now on. Tell them, Luka. Perfect. See you in the next videos. Bye.